my background, I was like still,
Aerospace?
an aerospace engineer. So I was like,
That's a whole other thing. You gotta tell my audience.
finally, we have like 5,000 for this reel. I was like, oh, interesting. Very, very interesting.
Very, yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird, but that's
Yeah.
that's the way I do it sometimes. And this is at this exact moment after this video, I was like, okay, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna see if I can make something happen with this. You know, I'm just an engineer, but it's fine. And
Nah, you're not just an engineer anymore. You're not
Yeah,
just
not
an
anymore.
engineer, you know? You're an engineer and a filmmaker. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Cut. Today we got Erwan, who is a former aerospace engineer and now a full-time filmmaker, which is crazy to think. You guys can only imagine how interesting our conversation is. So if you guys do enjoy this podcast, please like and subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Every step begins here, in silence. In the careful space between breath and motion, where nothing is left to chance. Not for perfection, but for understanding. Because out there, no ground repeats. Silent. Yet brutal. It strips you down until only what's real remains.
That was so good.
thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
There was so much about this as I'm reading it and knowing more details about it. One, this was like your first as a director, right? Like
Yeah,
as
yeah,
full-time-
exactly. Yeah.
full-time director.
Yeah, not even full time, because like at this time I was still like for my background, I was like still
Aerospace?
an aerospace engineer. So I was like,
That's a whole other thing. You gotta tell my audience. I'm reading about this on your website. I'm like, you were an aerospace engineer?
yes.
Okay, you gotta walk me through all this. This is crazy.
Yeah, so basically I did like all my study in France. I did like all the engineer school, and then I ended up being like an aerospace engineer, but like just because I was like good at math and like physics and all this, and I had like absolutely no idea I enjoy like filmmaking and stuff like this. It was like all my family are engineers, so it was like just you know what I mean, like the normal path for me to go there. So yeah, it was like, for me, like filmmaking and all this was never a thing. And I think I just like discovered Photoshop when I was like probably in engineer school, probably a little bit before, and I was like playing around. It felt fun for me to create stuff, like random stuff for at this time it was for online forum, when you had like a banner or like an avatar.
Yeah.
I was like doing this kind of stuff, but like, yeah, it was just on the side. But I really enjoyed, and I always enjoy being outside and just like skiing, surfing, and all these activities. And the best thing to do was always to watch back videos of your friends and film your friends. So I bought a GoPro, and I was just like shooting with my GoPros. And it started like that. I was like filming my friends, and I kind of enjoyed it, and I kept going. And yeah, but I was still an engineer. And but like the more I was an engineer for, because I actually left my company only 2 months ago, basically.
Wait, like 2 months, like
Yeah,
October?
yeah.
Wait, hold on. Oh,
The
what?
30th of September, like
Oh.
the third.
I
the
thought
last-
this was like a while ago. I didn't know that you were
no,
still
no.
like an engineer. That's crazy. I was like, what? Okay, so
No,
you
no.
just left. It's fresh.
Yeah, I just left, but it's been on my mind since like quite a few years already. But I always like did like just a bunch of videos, like just to have fun. It was like all up until like 2 years ago. It was like just all fun and just like for me and my friend to enjoy.
Wow.
And yeah, I think it was 2 years ago I did a video with my friend, because I just bought like I think it was like the cheapest DSLR camera ever, and I like did a video with my friend, like probably in like an afternoon and like probably a day with editing. And like some guy I posted on YouTube, probably had like 13 views, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
some
yeah.
guy saw it and he was like, "Oh, can I use like one part of this video and you add my logo and I'm gonna pay you 500 euros?" There was like, "What? Sorry, what? Can I get paid like doing this?" It was like real crazy to me. I was like, that's interesting." And I
That's
think it
cool.
was like 2 years ago. And for the whole, it was like in January, I remember. And then for the whole year, I was like a little bit researching, like, does it really exist? Because I just come from engineer. So it's like a
Yeah, yeah.
complete different world to me. I didn't even know it was like it possible to get paid to do it. And I started sending some email, creating a website, trying to, yeah, learn a little bit the thing. And I actually got contacted by GoPro in, I think it was in September, to help them edit some stuff. And it started like this with editing for GoPros. And then I got like another contract with a brand and then another one, and just it kept going. But it was still like I could live from it, but I was like really unsure because like I'm used to be like employed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
having like the constant like paycheck every month. And yeah, it was like I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure about it. And I'm not super sure like I can do it and I can live from it." And so in February of like I think this year, yeah, I made like the decision to let's try to make a film like from start to finish, like even like imagining I was paid like basically a spec ad. So that's how the Brooks video came live, and it was actually my friend Sjoerd, like he's from the Netherlands. And the first time is, I think it was like, oh yeah, when I started with GoPro, he sent me a message through Instagram. And he was like, "Oh, can you ski?" I was like, "Yeah, can you film also?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of." And he was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I need you." And I told him, I was like, "Yeah, but you know, I'm not a filmmaker. I don't know really what I'm doing." And he was like, "Yeah, no problem. Just come with
Yeah.
me." It was
Yeah,
like, "Yeah,
yeah.
I just need someone to be able to hold the camera and ski." And he gave me basically the confidence to start. So yeah, I owe
Damn.
him quite a lot, and so I wanted to do this project with him,
With
and
him.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
That is
exactly why.
cool. That's so cool because I saw his name on it too, and I was like, "Oh, it's cool to see that you guys kind of are continuing to work together."
Yeah,
Man.
exactly.
So wait, for the last 2 years, you were juggling both like the filmmaking and the aerospace stuff. How did you
Yes.
even do that? That's and were you like you're working full time
Yep.
as a
Yeah, it was kind of a lot of work, but yeah, it was also fun. Like for me, filmmaking has always been fun because it's very different from like engineer. When
Yeah.
engineer, it's like you're right or wrong, and it's like very mathematical and you're like analytical. And like filmmaking is more creative and like easy to do stuff. So yeah, it was like it was really fun to me, and also like it's. I think it was like interesting to do it that way because I didn't have to
Mhm.
worry about money, you know? So every
Yeah,
time
yeah,
someone was
yeah.
asking, like, can you do this for money? I was like, yeah, depends on like how much you pay. And if it was like, no, not a hell yeah, it was definitely a no. So I just like choose my projects the way I wanted to. I never had to work for like a small restaurant, local restaurant, or like just this.
Yeah.
I
Or
was
work for free.
yeah, almost never work for free. At beginning for very cheap for sure, but I learned to just be able to ramp up. And also, I was like, I think maybe I had like too much ego, but I only wanted to work with big brands. So I was like, if it's not a big brand, I'm gonna say no, unless it looks like it's gonna be fun. But I ended up like working almost on only with big brands, which is like today it's nice, but I didn't realize it was like also a good move, I think, from the very beginning.
I think when you're not like not like a struggling artist, but when you're not chasing the money
Yeah.
and you can say yes to and no and it's not going to affect the way you live, it's perfect, you know?
Yeah. And I also learned a lot about negotiating deals also with like
Mm.
because like for example, I remember being approached by a big brands telling me they I'd like something like 200 euros for like a reel. And I was like, oh, I'm not gonna do it because I don't need 200 euros. I have like my engineer job, and it didn't like seems fun to me. And like they came back like 2 weeks ago, and they say, well, finally we have like 5,000 for this reel. And I was like, oh, interesting. Very, very interesting.
Very yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, I understand now how it works. And so, yeah, basically, like me being able to have like enough money to do whatever I want, I was able also to negotiate deals way better because like I had no need for money for any, like filmmaking was just like bonus money. So it was super easy for me. I never struggled at all. If I had like no deals for 3 months, fine, I have my engineer job.
Does that change now that you've quit? Like, are you a little worried, or are you
Yes, definitely. Like it's definitely like a change of mindset, and like yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit. I'm not saying I'm struggling because I have money on this on the side, and like I did like a wise decision, like money wise and all this. But yeah, it's definitely quite different to like you have to basically kind of chase contracts because if you have like nothing, you just like don't have money coming for you. So yeah, it's definitely different, but it's also way more stimulating in a sense.
Do you find yourself, because it's so analytical on one side and you're so good at that, and you're also so good at like the creative filmmaking, do you find that you use some of those skills from the aerospace engineering side into filmmaking? Are you analytical with certain things
Yeah,
in the
definitely.
process?
Yeah,
Yeah? Like
definitely.
what are you analytical about, do you
Yes,
think, that more than other creators?
I don't exactly know if it's like true with me, but also I think like the way I handle project is very based on how I handle project when I was an engineer. So everything is like super strict and super, if I have like 1 day to do this, I will take 1 day and not a single minute more. If I, like
Wow.
if I schedule something, I will be strict to the schedule and I am not gonna move it like it's not gonna like move too much. Same with communication. We are like on my engineer job, we used to like to every single day to send like message to where we are, how it's going, and like what's my problem, what's my like what I'm working on. And this is something I do with my client basically. So even if they don't ask me, it's like, oh, today I'm working on this, I am this point, and tomorrow I'm working on this. Like the plan looks like this, and
Constant
I've
communication.
yeah, yeah, and maybe it's like a little too much, but I have heard like a lot of company I work with really appreciate this. So I'm like, oh, this is something I used to do, and I think it was like, in a sense, normal to do it because at my engineer job, like this is like the norm. But I heard it's not necessarily the way people do it. So yeah, definitely this. So there is like a lot of communication, and yeah, sometimes also when I edit. So there is like this weird me where like I see a cut and I'm like, if I want to do the same cut, I will count the number of frame to be sure it's like the exact same sometimes. And like some weird stuff like this. And I'm like, oh no, it can be like 1 second like too short because this is the way. And I'm always also counting for example, if the introduction is 10 seconds and the conclusion is 10, and like in the middle is 30 seconds, I'm like, oh, it's kind of even. But if it's like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and 20 seconds, I'm like, no, the middle is too
Oh
long. And
wow, wow, that's crazy.
just
That's
like,
crazy. That's
yeah, it's just weird. But yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's the way I do it sometimes.
You know what? I guess it works though. Like it works
Yeah,
for
probably.
a lot of, for you, and it's gonna continue to work. I'm sure. Does that make it hard for when you work with other people who don't think like that, or are you kind of like, are you a good collaborator? You're like, okay, cool, I can let go of it a little bit.
I think I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of easy to work with because
Yeah.
I really work like I go with the flow. So I'm not like super like there is no problem. I just enjoy when everything is kind of controlled in a way that we know exactly what we are going to do. Like if there is like no schedule and everything is a little bit all over the place, I know I'm like not like it's not easy for me, but I can go with the flow because I shoot outdoors, so I know nothing's gonna go as planned with weather and all this. So it's not a big problem. But yeah, I know like I way better enjoy when the production is like super scheduled, also than like sometimes it's like super messy and I'm like, ah,
Yeah, because there's some like creators who are like, it's a mess. Like their mind is they make great stuff, but it's like zero organization. It's like, how do you even run? But they make it work.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and it's crazy to me.
it's
I'm like,
great. Yeah.
how are
Yeah,
you
I
even
know.
able to do this? I'm like,
Can
yeah,
function,
for
yeah.
me, yeah,
I feel like anxious. I'll feel anxious
yeah,
doing that. I'm like, yeah, what are we
exactly.
doing today? Yeah.
I will be stressed. I will be like,
Yeah, yeah.
I will lose it completely. That's for sure. Yeah, that's definitely for sure.
Dang. Oh man, that's so good. Okay, cool. So let's get into the video.
Yeah, yeah.
So you shot this over 2 days,
Yep.
which is wild.
I think it was like 2 days and a half
Two
to
and a
be
half
exact.
days.
Yeah.
Because you did one in studio and then
Yes.
one how did you make that happen over 2 days? And like, because the planning, it's actually crazy. And a minimal crew too. Like, how much can you tell us how much people you had total?
Basically, the whole production was like managed and shot by me and Shurd, like just the two of us. And on the studio part, we had like Jelani, who was the runner, and we asked for help to just like set up the studio and clean the studio for with two people also. So we had like on set, we had like two people to help, and Jelani is a runner, and me and Shurd for the studio. And for the running, it was like only me and my friends. And I think the running part, the outdoor trails, it was shot in less than 2 hours,
Yeah, because
something
you
like
guys are
this.
shot towards the end of the day
Yep.
when sun's going down,
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
obviously you don't have a lot of
So
time.
yeah,
That's
yeah, we
crazy.
didn't have like a lot of time, but yeah, and for the studio, we basically had like 1 day and a half. The first day, it was like just installing the whole studio, like just prepping the all everything, and the second half day was like just shooting the scene. But because there was like not too many scene to shot, but yeah, it
Yeah.
was
So this is
this.
some of the shots.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest thing is like I'm sorry, I'm not like a super nerd about all the gear and stuff. So
Yeah,
because
dude, don't
I'm
worry.
beginning, but
That
basically
it doesn't even matter.
we install a gigantic soft box at the top, like you see
Yeah,
like the
because
white stuff.
you could see it. You could see it
Yep,
here.
exactly. This one. This took us like almost a day to install. It was like a 6 meter by 6 meter, and we had like two layers because otherwise we could see the lights, and you can see like we
So
could see.
this at the top here
Yep,
is another
exactly.
layer.
And you can see like the four lights we had, like it was like some
Yeah,
big
right here.
aperture lights, and we basically only had these lights. So yeah, it was like installing this was like super long, and I was like, this is like the thing that stressed me the most, because I was like, oh, we're gonna install this in like half a day, and when we
No,
arrived, yep, nope,
no, definitely
nope,
not.
not even close to half a day. It was
No.
like
How long? Like a day, like a full day, a day and a
yeah,
half. Yeah.
no, close to 1 day to just install everything, and also to just figure out the lighting and how. Yeah, I was like, because I know, I know nothing about lighting, and like I just like I used to shoot just like seeing, oh, it looks cool, and I just shot like this.
Because you're like
So
outdoor shooting as well, right?
yeah,
Because it's like it's hard to.
yeah,
Okay.
it was my second time in the studio, and the first time was working with a friend of mine, Raylene. I think you
Right.
actually,
I did, yeah.
yeah, with like
Yeah, his
the
that
Japan
video
video.
that video that you guys made is amazing. I actually asked Raylan if he wanted to jump on, but I think he's like
Yeah, he's
super
super busy
doing.
right now.
Yeah, that video was great. And then when I saw that your work and that you worked on it, I was like, oh yeah, the studio stuff, everything about that video was great too.
Yeah, it was cool. And so I saw the studio with Ray, and I was like, oh, it was cool to shoot like the studio. Because we had like half a day with Ray to shoot all the studio stuff. And I was like, oh, I don't need much. So I was like, oh, I asked Shurd, and was like, oh, let's do just 1 day. And it was like, maybe a day and a half could be great. And so yeah, we installed the gigantic softbox and all the lighting, and I just like discovered with this production that I thought like all studio came with like lighting already, and he was like, nope, nope, welcome to my world. I was like, oh, there is no lighting.
There's no lighting, and then like there's probably the grid at the top, right, where you're hanging it, and that takes time. You're moving the ladder,
Exactly,
then
exactly.
you're like, and if there's only two of you, it's like, okay, how does it look like? How's it
Ooh.
hitting you? Yeah, dude,
Exactly. Every
it's
single time it
crazy.
was super long. And yeah, it took quite some times, but once it was like set up, it was like super cool because like Shroud is used to manage all these lights. So it was like super efficient and
Mm.
quickly, like just by playing with light, with color and like putting the treadmill in the middle, it was like we managed to find like something that looks cool to my eye. And I was like, once it was set up, I had like a shot list and I was like, okay, I'm ready to just like do some test shots. And tomorrow the model is coming and it's gonna be fine. But yeah, it took us like almost a complete day to just install
Wow.
all this. And also all the little there's like some computer and stuff. Like we just have to rent some random stuff and also buy some stuff on Amazon. So it was like quite a lot of work. And yeah, on all the screen during the videos, there was like some
Yeah.
screen, and I made all this on After Effects.
Oh, did you?
So
You did it before,
yeah,
like,
I did it before. So it's like there is like some fake BPM stuff and like all the
yeah.
just a bunch of random like screen. All these are moving and it's just like a random expression on After Effect, which already like engineer helps a lot to understand expression when you use After Effect.
Actually, that's crazy because After Effects seems very analytical and technical.
Yeah,
The
it's
amount
like
of
super easy.
numbers the person. So you were probably looking at it like, oh, this is easy. I can
Yeah,
just
kind of. It's not like
what?
easy, but like sometimes I just like guess how it works, you know? It's like
Yeah, that's
it's just like,
that's
oh,
so crazy.
I'm like, oh, let's try this expression. And I'm like, oh, this is not the right way to write it, but like the code is the same. It's like basic code. So it's like kind of easy to just like make expression and like just like trace a curve and all this because like it's what I used to do for 8 years. So it's like, yeah, After Effects is
That's
not super
nuts.
complex. Like you're writing program in After Effects, I'm writing code and also writing plugins. Sometimes I just like create my own plugins. It's like a kind of like
What the
not super
fuck?
complicated. Like I need to understand the language of it, but once you know to code, basically it's all I feel like the same. So it's not like super complex.
Wow. That is so interesting, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Just learning the language of it and then understanding like the basics and how things work, and
Yeah,
then
there is definitely way more to it, but when I write like some basic code, it's just like it's super easy. And now with AI, it's like I can type what I want, to just like explain the structure of how I want it, and you just like translate it to what I want. And sometimes I just like write the code or like a way I want it in another language, and I just tell ChatGPT to translate it to After Effects, and that's done. So it's yeah, sometimes cool. And for this, it was like super helpful because I wanted like the curve to just like be a sinus and like just move and like BPM to be random, but not too random because I wanted like the 139 is basically like the correct, probably the correct BPM for someone like Jelani on the treadmill to
on a
be. So
treadmill.
yeah, to be like
Well, see, there's a
easy.
lot of thought that goes into that, which is great because like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you know the how many beats per minute the heart should be for someone who is maybe this athletic, running a little bit,
Yeah,
um
exactly. I wanted
to
to
stay in
feel
that
real.
cardio or
Yeah.
like that fat burning cardio stage. Yeah, that's actually very, and because you do a lot of it, you love the outdoor stuff, and you probably work out and you kind of understand. That's actually super helpful when you do stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And just like it's super small detail for sure, but it's the part I've enjoyed the most. Like all these kind of tiny details. This is like really interesting to me to just like make all this. It's like super fun. I also made like the on the old TV screen. I made like the pulse also to
Yeah,
be
yeah, right
like.
here.
So we connected it to like my computer with like I don't know how to call it, but like a transcoder from my
That's
computer
so
to this.
cool.
So it's actually real and it's not VFX, so it's fun.
So that's like practical.
Yeah, 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 it was
Dang.
like all actually to make it like make sense. And yeah, and when I choose Jelani to do the running, I really wanted someone that is able to run, and which is actually a runner because I hate when I see like a commercial or something with runners or whatever skier,
Yeah.
and it's like the person don't know how to ski or don't know how to run. I really
Yeah,
don't like it.
the technique is off, or like you can tell like
Yeah, you can
this
tell
person
it's
doesn't.
like
Yeah,
it's a model, but it's not a runner, and I wanted like someone to have like a proper running form because I feel like
yeah,
it looks better to me at least. So yeah, Jelani is like an incredible runner. He's like I think he's running the marathon in like 2 hours and 30 minutes. So
Jesus,
yeah, he's like an
what?
incredible runner.
No, that's so cool. Like the small little details actually, and to see how this looks here, like this frame, and then when we go back to,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, when we
It
go
looks
back
like
to,
nothing. Yeah, it's
yeah,
on this one I think a little. Yeah.
yeah, like this is cool, seeing the TVs and all the
Yeah,
equipment, and
and
then
this
this.
looks like nothing.
But that's the beauty of like filmmaking,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
it's always gonna look like this, and it's always gonna be like you literally making magic in a single frame, and it's so
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. And I was like, oh, with the lighting, I was like, oh, it looks way better than I expected. So yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
that's always amazing because it sucks when it's not, when you're like it looks worse than what I expected.
Yeah, and this time it was like way better. It's like and thanks to Sure because like he did all the lighting, and I was like, yeah, I want it to be like this, and it was like, oh, no problem, I'm gonna just switch this one and this one on, and I was like,
Yeah, yeah, you're
I
like
don't know what you're
what?
doing,
Yeah,
but yeah,
but keep
do you?
doing it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
keep doing it like you're crushing it. And he was like, yeah, and like for example, I know he don't like to edit, and I'm like, oh no, no, I see how it's gonna work in the edit, so it's perfect. Like because like I always think of like small details because I always think of the edits when I'm on set. And for example, when I cut a shot, I know it's gonna cut to another shot of Jelani walking or running. I make sure I'm cutting on the same legs,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
he has
Because
like
then
the
it
same
looks
leg
off. Yeah,
position, and I'm always trying. Sometimes it doesn't work because I forget to, or like the best shot was with like inverted legs. But I always make sure like all the legs are gonna be like a continuous movement through the different take of the film. So yeah, and like Shorty doesn't want to think about this, so he's like, I'm doing the lighting, yeah,
that's
you do you.
perfect. You
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
know how to work together. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like
it was
there's
perfect.
strengths and yeah, there's strength and weaknesses. It's like you guys just have it covered. Now that's so cool. Because I think he mentioned the shot where that we were just looking at coming back. There was like stuff where he was like not in shoes
No,
and
no, yeah, we did it
like
with like yeah, with my FX3, it was like with the lens was a 25 to 24 to 105, and with like just a yeah, and with just a gimbal, and I was like, oh, I want to have like a shot of you coming from like just seeing the runner and like just revealing the whole thing, and yeah, this was the shot, and we basically nailed it in like one take. It was like super
that's
easy
not,
to yeah, super easy to
what the,
make.
isn't that amazing? After you get it one take, you're like, do we even do this again or
Yeah,
like
that was
okay, let's just
exactly.
get one more just in case. Just in
Exactly,
case.
exactly. I was like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just do it again.
Just yeah, just in case this shot. Yeah.
Yeah, because there is like not too much timing to Nate, just like Jelani is like just running and it just like coming back and on is at my level, I just like sit
Sit.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it was easy. And actually, I wanted to cut this part where even like where we see my face on this,
Oh,
but
you
it
didn't.
was. But with like the beat and everything, I didn't manage to cut this part, so I was like, "Yeah, fuck it, let's let's keep it." But
Yeah.
Where nothing is left to chance.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
because it doesn't really help the story, but I was like, I wanted to show is in a lab, but not necessarily show
Show your
someone or stuff.
face.
Yeah, so I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't really know, but like with the music, I already like cut such a big part and was like, yeah, but like there is like a complete rhythm, or I don't know how to say, like a beat, and I was like, yeah, I need to have
Yeah.
something, so yeah, let's put my face on it.
Yeah, and that's actually your process too, because I think one of your pin posts, you were talking about one of your other videos, the editing process, and you start with kind of the music first, and then
Yeah,
the way you
always.
lay it out, it's very. Now that I'm talking to you, I'm like, it's very structured. It's
Yes.
very much, it's very. I'm like, I get it now. I'm like, okay, I totally get it.
Yeah, I always start with the music and I always make sure like there is like an introduction, then there is like a high part, then there is like a part. I always love when there is like something where there is like almost like no music and it's just like a
It's like
moment, yes, suspended
yeah,
in,
like breathe. You can
yeah,
breathe a little
exactly.
bit.
And then I come back, and then there is a conclusion. And maybe it's like me just being an engineer, but I always like doing this. So I'm like, yeah, I need to put the music, and I always start with the music and almost like sound effect a little bit. And once I have
Yeah.
like a structure and I can listen to the music, and I'm like, oh, it's actually cool. Then I start to do like the intros and the conclusions and the transition, and then I just fill the gaps basically.
It's so funny now. Like I'm everything is very structured and like perfect. I'm like, okay, down to a T. Even like the way these posts are, it's so cool how you could break it down and
Yeah, it's
yeah,
very,
filling in the
yeah, it's the
gaps.
way I do it. But it's funny because I have no idea how other people do it, because I don't know many people in the industry basically. So I just like do it my way, and I just see how it works basically.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
And
I love,
of course, and it evolves over time, I think.
yeah,
Like I bet you're going to start working with more and more people and you're going to be like, "Oh, I think I kind of like doing it that way." Or maybe they're like, "Actually, the way you're doing it is way better than the way I'm doing it." So it always going to evolve, I think, which is
yeah,
cool, the
yeah,
collaboration part of it.
which is fun. And like a lot of people are always like asking me what software I use to edit.
And
And
you
like,
switch between like
ye-
sometimes you're like
yeah,
DaVinci, which is so yeah, that was another question I had. I was like,
basically, I just like I have like a really weird thing where I switch between project. So first project
yeah,
I do DaVinci, and second one I do Premiere Pro, and then
okay,
I just
that
switch.
is
I just
so
like
weird.
alternate, and sometimes I do like one complete on After Effects, and I just don't know. It's just like fun to me to just like swap softwares, and yeah, it's just like it's
I
weird,
feel
but
like you're so smart that you get so bored. Do you ever like? I feel like a lot of people
I
who are
don't know.
so smart get so bored of stuff. They're just like, I need a challenge. Like, let me just do this
Yeah,
here
I
and
don't know.
boring.
I will not say I'm so smart, but I feel like changing software for me felt a little like feels a little easy in a sense. I don't feel like it's like super hard to just switch software. I feel like all of them have
At
their
the
all
same.
have, yeah, are just
Yeah.
like the same. And like just if you import your same like shortcuts, it's exactly the same software.
Yeah, yeah. There's like a
So
timeline. There's like a program
yeah,
window. There's
basically. So
like effects
definitely
windows.
there is different stuff, but like you can understand it like quite easily, I feel like. So I just like switch software just like to keep me entertained, and also to keep up with like novelties. I love the AI stuff of DaVinci, but there is like not the same AI stuff on like Adobe Premiere. And sometimes I feel like the subtitles are better on Premiere, and like sometimes better on DaVinci. And like I just swap stuff like just like to keep
That's
me entertained.
You know what though, like in terms of like getting work or working for other people, that's like amazing
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. It
they'll be like,
helped
"What do
me.
you
Yeah,
edit on?" You're like, "Whatever you want me to edit on." You know, like I got it. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. And sometimes like people are like, "Oh, can you edit on like Premiere Pro?" I was like, "Yep." And can you do DaVinci? Yep. And yeah, I also sometimes edit on Final Cut, but I don't really enjoy it. Like it's a little, yeah, less fun for me.
Yeah,
But I think like just keeping Premiere and DaVinci is like perfect
yeah,
combination
yeah,
for me.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's cool.
It's crazy. I don't know anyone who's like just willingly like down to switch per project if they're just like, "Oh, let's do this." Um,
Yeah, I
it's
just alternate. Yeah, just
yeah.
to have fun.
Where is this?
Oh, it's like, oh, the trail shots, like for this, I really wanted to like to change a little bit, and I wanted to be able to, have the runner have some speed, because like
Yeah,
when I shoot some trail running, usually it's like super steep, and like there is like two possibilities. You either make him run on like a steep path, and it's like not really natural because like runner don't like run on steep like terrain, or and it's not gonna look like great. So I wanted something a little flat, and where I live there is like something where it's like just a plateau basically, and I knew I will be able to see the mountain. And yeah, we just like shot all these probably
beautiful.
in like 1 kilometer range, like not even 1 kilometer. Everything was like 500 meters, like on the exact same thing. Like just like the whole trail running stuff is like just super fake.
Yeah, yeah. But you guys made it look great, like the
Yeah,
colors
I
and
tried.
everything.
I tried my best.
Yeah. Yeah, like this stuff. Okay, yeah, there's two things because I remember I mentioned when I was
Yeah, I
watching it.
remember like the two
The
things you mentioned are
the
like,
eyes,
yeah, the
the
eyes and the
eye
like
and
boss
the
boss are exactly like the two stuff I miserably failed to shot, and so I had to use stock footage.
Oh, really? So this is stock
Yes.
footage?
Yeah, this one is stock footage. And I just like change the color and make like the interior of the eye a little more clarity and sharpen,
Yeah.
And I added like the reflection of
Yeah, I
the next.
love I love this detail, the reflection of it, because it goes by so fast. But when I was watching it and I was going like scrubbing through it, I love that was
Yeah, I
part of
just
it.
like I just like tracked the eye movement and like just like bunch of mask and all this, and I tracked the next shot into the eye because I wanted to feel like you are opening the eye and like it's just like seeing the new environment basically.
Yeah.
So that was the idea behind this, and I wanted to shot it with a prop lens, but I got cancelled on the renting last minute, so I was like, oh, I'm fucked.
Oh,
So
that's why,
yeah.
huh?
So I was like, I'm gonna find an eye on like definitely on stock footage. So it was like fine for me. And
Yeah.
yeah, and the second, like the dirt flying on the
Yeah.
ground, I just like didn't manage to have like the shot I wanted. So yeah, we did like a couple try, but like the whole trail part was shot probably in like 1 or 2 hours with the sun. So I just like hadn't enough time to just shot like the detail of the dirt flying.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, and I wanted to have like the dirt, and I really wanted to have like the shoe in the background, but I didn't manage to get it.
Get
But
it?
I
Yeah.
found the stock footage that I just like just color corrected, and I also added like a bunch of like dirt in the air, so it feels a little more packed basically. And on the
Okay, yeah.
next shot, I tried to match a little bit the detail. I just like added a bunch of like small into, so it feels like it's
Ah.
flying a little bit more. So it feels like both shots are the same, but like definitely not.
No, but it does. Like I even thought it was like the same. Like at least you matched it really, really well.
Yeah, I tried too, but like yeah, the lighting is like on this one you can see the lighting on the side and on this one on the back.
Yeah,
So it
like
was
this
like
is in the back
yeah,
because
but
the front.
I couldn't like find a way to make it better. So yeah, I just like
Yeah. I
made it
feel
that way.
yeah, that's cool. I don't know if it's in DaVinci. They have like relight or like they have like all
Yeah,
these other
probably.
things.
Yeah, probably on DaVinci. Yeah,
I've
but
seen
I
I don't
think
know how
it
to use
was
DaVinci, but I've seen people and I'm like, that's crazy. You can
it
like
was like I think it was
grab the
not
light.
out yet already.
Yeah.
So
No, but honestly, it's so fast too. It's like unless you're probably because you're in the edit, you could tell the details and you're like, oh, it doesn't look the same. But it goes by so fast unless you're really like like
yeah,
breaking it
yeah.
apart. Yeah.
But I really wanted to shot it, but I just like failed.
Yeah. Dude,
Basically,
but
I just like
that's
I was
yeah.
throwing dirt like, and we were just like there was like just me and my friend. So it was like, yeah, just like try to run right now, and I was like right now. And then, like, after like
You're like,
five
no, we're
take, I
not
was
doing
like,
it.
I said like I'm either gonna find the stock footage or I'm gonna generate it with AI, and it's gonna be fine for what I want. So I was like, yeah, let's just make you run, and this will not be able to to find stock footage. So let's find a way to just like move on. And yeah, it was also a good learning process. Like sometimes you have like just to move on what you wanted to shoot, and yeah, I ended up like being able to to do it the way I wanted. So it's all good.
Yeah. Oh, okay. And one thing I want to ask you, like the use of shadows, I noticed.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just like it happened to be for the trail running. I didn't want to start it that way. I really wanted to start it like with the eye opening, basically, because I
Mm.
wanted with the VFX to just with the VFX, basically, it's also a big fail from me. I wanted to do a Gaussian splatting of yeah, of the whole scene, but it just like felt bad. It was like just not good. And so I asked some of my friends from Cookie Collective. They are like just a bunch of guys. It's a really cool little studio. And I was like, here is my Gaussian splatting, and I want to go into my eye, but I know it's not going to work, and you will not be able to just like model my whole face and stuff. And it's not going to work the way I want. So can we just like go through the keyboard and just find a way to make it like I think we took a reference from Matrix, where there was
Yeah.
like all the digit, and we
Yeah,
just like
yeah,
made
yeah.
something very similar. And I was like, then I need to change the way
You come
the
into
opening
the
shot, yeah, because I wanted like to go through my eye, and then with the eye
the
opening,
out.
you see the whole stuff, but it's just like didn't work.
Ah, that would have been cool too,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, but I just failed. Basically, just like it was like not good, and I was like, I actually had some cool result with AI to just like have my face and go through my eye, but it was like not perfect enough, and I was like, I'm not gonna spend like too much time on it. So just
Yeah,
let's see if they can help me, and they managed to do this like in probably just like less than a day, and it was
that's
fine for me.
crazy. Wow.
And with this, and like on the previous shot, I also added all the little crows, so it's like it just
Oh,
like doesn't look
oh,
like
so that
a
was all added in, huh?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the
Just like added a bunch of crows, so it's like it looks a little moving, and actually because this shot is the same one as like the next one where it's like a static shot with my friend running. I just inverted it and removed it from the shot. Yeah, this is the same shot, so just like the previous one.
Oh, so it was reversed, and then you added that is
Yeah, I just like reversed it, and I just like I just like took a screenshot. I removed my friend running, and because it was like not moving, I just add some clouds, like just a tiny bit moving, and I wanted not to feel like a picture. So I was like, what can I add? And I just like added some crows, and that's it.
wait a minute. Like this shot?
Yep.
I'm tripping out. How?
So this one, yeah, this one,
Oh, this one.
yeah, this is exactly the same, just reversed.
And then you masked them out. Oh
Yeah.
man, okay. And also, like, you guys didn't use the same runners, right?
No, yeah, it was also like with the first one I wanted to have like because it was like one was shot in the Netherlands with my friends because we had with Shub because he had like a contact with Aperture to be able to rent the light for very cheap, and also he had like a contact to be able to rent the studio for very cheap also because it's all friend of his. So it was like, let's shoot it like there, and this was shot like in south of France, close to where I live. So I didn't have like the budget to fly Jelani to here, and also I didn't want him to fly him to this like just for an afternoon. So I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
let's use a
yeah.
different runner. But then I was like, yeah, but Jelani is black and he's white, so it's gonna be seen. And I was like, you know what? I'm the director. I do whatever I want.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Let's imagine it's an avatar and something like this,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever. It's gonna
It actually
be.
kind of makes sense if if it is like an avatar, especially when you go into the, after the Gaussian splatting type of
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. And
Because like if I had like budget and like a lot of like yeah, much bigger budget and like but I had like so many ideas to make something like a little bit like the movie Ready Player One.
ah, yeah,
But
yeah, 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 yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, I was like, this is my first piece from start to finish, like all alone, basically, with like when I say all alone, I say like a whole piece, like from start to finish, where I'm part of it. And I was like, yeah, let's keep it simple and be able to finish something and see where it goes.
This is like a perfect example of, or for people that want to do spec ads and things like that. It's like you just have to make it work. You have to make it work
Yeah, definitely.
regardless. Like, you can't be doing all this, and if you have a big budget, like, you just have to. And a lot of the budget too is like there's so much props and set design. I love this. Like, where did you even get this treadmill from?
We just like contacted I think it was Techno Gym, and I was like, just I sent them the pitch because I had like
Like
some sort of pitch
treatment.
deck, and I was
Mm.
like, hey guys, I'm shooting this at this date. If you have like a treadmill, I will be happy to be able to have it. If it's possible to have like a price, it's gonna be great. Otherwise, just let me know the price. And they just like told me, okay, we will just deliver the treadmill, and for the whole weekend for you, it's free.
What?
I was like, okay, cool, thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Because this is the best looking treadmill for something like this.
Yeah,
The way it looks is cool. Like,
yeah, I
very
really wanted a cool
futuristic.
treadmill. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really wanted like a real treadmill. I don't want like the really small one. I really wanted like the big one. And yeah, it was like it was perfect. So the only thing is like I was not expecting to have like a big screen in front of
Oh,
him.
this guy, yeah.
Yeah, so the whole thing I wanted to have like Jelani facing us and shot like a bunch of different stuff. But since the screen was in front of his face, I had to change a little bit of the shot list because it was like just in a way I wanted like to see different shot of him like just hopping on the treadmill for the whole beginning. But there is like this big screen just like
Yeah.
masking the whole thing. So I was like, okay, let's turn it like let's just find a way. So it was like a little bit messy at first, but yeah, we managed to find a way to do it. And yeah, I also had to mask the power cable because I didn't want it like to see the tiny little shitty power cable on on
Yeah,
everything. So
because this looks so clean
yeah, I
without
think there
it.
is like on every time I just like cut it like just before the power cable. So right now you don't see the power cable because I
Yeah.
cut the shot just like before we can see it. But there is like one wide shot and I just like mask it and
Ah. Oh, yeah, and that's perfect. Even the way you guys are moving like this.
yeah, it was like all made so we don't see the power cable. You
Oh,
can
yeah,
see
yeah,
it a
yeah.
tiny
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit.
yeah, yeah. A little bit after. Now that you mentioned it. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Like right
Yeah, just a
there.
little bit.
No, but see, that's like movie magic. Like you wouldn't know. Like
Yeah,
this.
and this one I just like it was
Yeah.
like a static shot, and I just like removed the cable and just like
And then
made
you
a digital zoom, and it was all good. I think.
movie magic, man.
Yeah, try to do my best to make it look clean because I feel like with the power cable, it's just not good. It doesn't look great. So I was like, yeah, let's get rid of it. And with like also like with AI, it was super simple. I just like remove the content aware and it's gone in like 2 clicks. So
You also did the voiceover, or like
yeah,
what was that?
the voiceover was like really done at the last minute because I was like, hey, the film is cool, but it's missing like we don't really understand the message I wanted to tell, basically. So I was like, I need to have a voiceover. So yeah, I just like wrote like a bunch of different voiceover and then with I think I use 11 labs. You can record yourself with the correct intonation and changing it to the voice you want. And
That's
I
crazy.
tried to do it, and I had to do it like a bunch of time because my English is really bad. So I had to redo it until it's like sounds cool. But yeah, and I had like a lot of echo and distortion because I wanted to feel like a video game voice. And yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah. Like it's in like the computer,
yeah,
or it's
exactly,
in.
exactly.
Yeah. Uh,
Every step begins here, in silence.
that's crazy. That's basically you, and then the changing of like the tone and like
Yeah,
the.
because I feel with AI and voiceover, at least when I tried on this, uh, there is like never the correct intonation, you know? Like the question is not really a question or it's not dramatic the way you want. So I try to just like play it the way I want it. And 11 Labs, they allow you choose a voice and then you record yourself and they use like your intonation to make the voice. So I just like tried a bunch of these and like going back and forth and just sometime with the first voice, which is like not super good, I just like re-input it again and just like doing again and again until I got like the correct intonation. But yeah, it took quite some time actually. I was like, oh, maybe I should have hired like someone to do it, but I didn't know anyone. I have like no idea how I can hire someone, what was the price and everything, and I wanted like to be able to get it fast. So yeah, I just
Yeah.
use AI. But I think next time I would just like maybe find a way to hire someone that can do it because it was like quite a time consuming.
Especially like running it through a couple times.
Yeah, the whole studio was like quite the experience for me, like very, very new. And I was like super happy to be able to just like do something from start to finish. And like, I was like, oh, okay, I can do it. It's like, it's not crazy good, but I can do something. So it was like really encouraging and this is at this exact moment after this video, I was like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to see if I can make something happen with this. And yeah, basically from there it was all bonus because like worst case scenario would just come back being an engineer, but like for now it's just like working. And from this video I got like so many opportunities. It's like
What?
crazy. Yeah, like some editing work for big brands for like their next official campaign with like budget I couldn't even like
Yeah, you're like,
imagine. I was like, "You're sure you want me to do this?" I was, "Yeah, we saw your video and it was like great." I was like, "Okay, let's do this." I'm just an engineer, but it's fine. And
nah, you're not just an engineer anymore. You're not
yeah,
just
not
an
anymore.
engineer, you know? You're an engineer and a filmmaker. That's
But
so cool.
yeah, it was fun. And like the whole editing like took quite some times. Like the whole editing the studio took me probably just one day, but the trail part I couldn't find the rhythm and the whole thing, so it just like probably took me a week, a complete week, like to be able to
Wow.
just find it. And still the running is still way less good than the studio part, which is like when I watch the video I'm
Yeah.
like, ah.
Yeah, that's a part you're like, oh, it could have been
Yeah,
way
way
better.
better.
Yeah. What do you do at that point though, when one part it like flows so flawlessly and then you get to the point where you're like creatively stuck? Like, do you do anything specific? Do you like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
I need a
change the
break?
music.
Oh, I change your music?
Yeah,
You
I
just like,
just like get rid of the music, and I'm like, this is
ah,
definitely the music that is causing me
it's the
problems.
music's
So
fault. Yeah.
yeah, it's a music fault. So I just change the music, and I can change it like probably 5 times, just like be able to. And I just like start from scratch for this part, and I'm like, but because usually I feel like I'm not like a crazy good editor, and probably people like know this way better than me. But usually I'm like stuck with like one transition or one like sequence, and I'm like trying to build around it, but maybe it's like not the correct way to do it. So just like getting rid of everything and just starting from scratch. And yeah, just like do this a bunch of time. And yeah, sometimes it's just like work. And for this one, I think I changed the music probably like 5 times. And I ended up like going back with the first one and just like changing the order.
Yo, it's crazy because that's happens more often than not. Where like it's like your instinct of that song,
Yeah.
it actually was good, and then it's almost like you need to go through the other horrible or bad or a little worse like types of audio or like a shot, and then you come back and you're like, no, I was right. I was completely right that this was good one.
Yeah, definitely. It was exactly this. And I was usually I like just I wipe out everything. I like change the music. Then I take like one day completely off from this to like really be able to start fresh. And then when I start, I just edit. And sometimes I'm like, I'm listening back to the first version. I'm like, it was not that bad actually.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You need to like move away from it because sometimes you're listening to it over and over and over again in the same order, and you're like, no, I just, yeah, I like it, but there's something about it. So you just,
Yeah,
yeah, totally
definitely.
get it.
And I also see editing like exactly the same as like being able to develop like a software and like coding. It's like there is like an infinite way to do the same thing, and you can always like improve it again and again and again. So it's just like at some point I'm like, yeah, let's just move on with this edit and start a new one and like do something else, because it's not gonna help me to just like spend a month on it, because I can definitely spend a full month on like the same edit and just like there is like no right or wrong, so I can infinitely like tweak it and make it better, or like just make it worse also. But yeah, just like at some point I'm like, okay, at the end of the week I'm done with it, and that's it, and just like moving on. So this is exactly what I did with this. I just put myself a deadline. I was like, at this date I'm just like gonna deliver everything like exactly if I had a client, and then I'm moving on even if it's not perfect. But yeah, that's the way I do it.
So this marked kind of like the beginning of your like full-time filmmaker chapter.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
what advice do you have for others who are like in that position in the 2 years where you're balancing and you're like, I think I can do it, or
Ooh, that's
mm,
a good question. I think like, yeah, I think at first, what really helped me was like keeping my job, like not switching too fast. I not, I am. It's like I know a lot of people need to have like to burn bridges, like to be able to, like just if you don't do it like full at like all in, you're not gonna do it. But I feel like having like the safety of my job was helped me being able to keep like the fuel and the love for filmmaking, in a sense. So because I was like not like craving contract and like doing small restaurant stuff, for example, or weddings that I really don't want to do and don't like. I was only picking up like the stuff I wanted to do, and I think this was like a really because it's kind of an unpopular opinion. I feel like a lot of people told me, oh, you have to quit right now to be able to be in the arena. But for me, it felt, yeah, it was like quite long because it took me almost like 2 years to be able to quit. But it was like so cool for me because I just like took on projects that I wanted to take. And sometimes I had like nothing to do, but I tried to market myself, to create a website, to post some stuff on Instagram, and like slowly the snowball started. So yeah, keeping my job definitely helped me way more than I expected at first.
That's great advice. I feel like not a lot of people, and you're right, not a lot of people take that route because it's tough too. Like it's tough to balance a job and then to also feel like you are being successful. You almost feel like, how can I get home? I'm tired mentally, I'm drained, creatively, I'm drained, and I only have like 4 or 5 hours to like create something. And sometimes you just don't even get into that.
Yeah, but it's
So
definitely like a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie. Like there
yeah,
is like days I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to like do this, but I think it was like all fun for me. It was like very, very fun. It's always fun for me to edit and to make videos. So it didn't felt like too much, but I definitely like all my days off from my engineer job was like for production. So I didn't took any days off. So definitely there is like some sacrifice to do. But yeah, it didn't felt like too much of a sacrifice at first. So just like at the end, when I was like about to quit, I was like, but I spent so much on it, so many weekends on it. You're like, if it doesn't work out, holy fuck, that's not gonna be great. But yeah, definitely like keep going. And it took me like, yeah, it took me 2 years. So it's like if it's taking like you less, congratulations. But yeah, it's gonna take quite some time, basically.